things this morning. The first is to identify what aspects of what we would have submitted on our worksheets that are correct and use as examples to show how the template works. Secondly, that you would indicate if you have any problems. To me, you would raise your questions somewhere in there as we go along. And then thirdly, from here, because we will go up to annotated in the template, we will then go on to annotated to learn how it is that we are to build an annotated bibliography. I hope when we get there that this thing shares, because I don't know why it's giving that trouble to share. So let's hope for the best there with that. All right. So the first is title. Everything in blue basically are your explanations. I want you all, let me say this before I go any further. Class, there's something that is not happening here that I need for you all to address. Two things are that you are being given stuff and you're not reading and you're not reviewing. It was clear from the way in which the worksheets were filled out that some of you have not reviewed the lectures in terms of the PowerPoint, and you've not gone back at the recordings, which give detailed explanation as to how you are to go about doing all of what is required of you for the course. I need for you all where it is, it's not even where you're not clear, even if you think you are clear. Before you attempt to do anything, you go back through the PowerPoints and you go back through the recordings to be sure that you're doing the correct thing. That is reasonable, right? Yes? Can I get an agreement there?
Yes, miss.
Please, I beg of you, because this is actually one of the reasons why we are a little bit behind, apart from the fact that unfortunately we had missed a class which fell in my garden. Okay, we must review the recordings. In this instance, you all are lucky because being home now, the lectures are recorded. If we were in class, there would be no recording. You would have had to take notes and have to be there. So let us take advantage of this to the fullest and ensure that we can hit the nail on the head as close as we possibly can, because we can revert to what has been given to us in the class as our guide. Everything that you are taught is what you need and what you will use to complete the various exercises that you have before you for the course. Fair enough?
Yes.
By extension, this proposal that you have here, you would need to do the same thing. This template is not just to jump in here and start to fill out things, but everything that is in blue, you read carefully, because those are the instructions and those will guide you. All right? Now, for the purposes of what we're doing today, I will skip the first set of explanation and I will come to the part where it says title. Oh my goodness. Trying to maneuver it. So you notice it says here, when you are done, delete all instructions, all written in blue from your proposal. So you see, all of these are important things. So you should not be submitting anything where there's blue writing in it, because those are the things that you would have been told to do. Okay? And that should not be in your document at all. All that should be there is what you have inserted. So I've said just now, we begin at the title. Where will your title come from? What worksheet would you be referring to fill in your title? Come class, don't let's stall. And you have to be in class today. You can't be multitasking today, because you need to stay focused that you can get this correct. We won't be coming back to this part of our course again. And you need it from here on. Tell me, what worksheet would we be referring to?
Worksheet 1.
And what part of worksheet 1 is that? Correct. Worksheet
The
1. And
draft
what
topic.
part of worksheet 1? Sorry?
The draft topic.
The draft topic. And to repeat, as I said last week, some of us actually construct that already as a title when they write the draft topic, so that for some people they can easily replicate that. So let's see if we can get one of the good ones where that is concerned. Let me open. I should have keep all of them open on the screen. Let me see. Let me see if I could find one. Is there anyone who has theirs before them where I didn't say anything about the topic? They could probably read it for me in the interest of time, that I don't have to let's see. Nobody got a comment or a good comment about the topic? That ain't sounding so good.
Yes, miss. We're looking for it.
All right. All right. I go use this is good. There's a Leah and Soraya Jab Malassi.
Yeah, miss.
All right. So for example, let me read through their worksheet, and you will see how they arrived at a topic and to make the point as to how that too could be a title. General idea of study, cultural representation. So for those of you who still did not start with one of those, you find yourself in a bit of trouble, because then you don't quite know where to go, or your direction is not clear. Not even for yourself, because we would have learned from our first lecture that cultural representation, cultural expression, and cultural experience, they all mean different things, not so? Y'all stay with me, please, please.
Yeah,
We
miss.
don't,
Yes,
and
miss.
and therefore, when we choose one of those, that already helps to determine what direction we're going in. So one of you, I can't remember the group, I feel it's Sade and Lisa. You had cultural experience slash expression. Is it your
Yes,
group?
yes, miss.
Right. So you can't have that, because that really means two different things. So you have to make a determination as to which one of those directions you want to go in with respect to your research focus. Same thing with Kwazi and Anashrita in a sense. Is it that you want to look at the Salaka feast as a cultural experience, or do you want to look at it as expression? Is it about the event itself that is part of the Heritage Festival, or is it about the traditional, the ritual? You see what I'm saying, Anashrita?
Yeah.
And therefore, in making that determination, that makes a difference as to what then comes under all that follows there, and what then you create as your topic, and by extension your title. Everybody still with me? If not, please say. This is the time now to say if you don't understand.
Miss, is it
Understood.
possible that you could have, like how we have some mistakes early up, but then we come down to our draft topic? Is it possible that the draft topic could be okay even though the other things aren't?
No, it's not possible. Can anybody say why that is not possible? Does anybody understand why it would not be possible to land on your feet with the draft topic, but the things leading up to it are not correct?
Because you may not be on the right track.
One, and what you mean by that when you say it may not be on the right track? Like what? Explain it. That's Sade talking there.
Yes,
I
miss.
have to learn voices because I have the other page up. Right. Explain what you mean by that to Sade when you say you might not be on the right track. Sorry. Is that Celeste? I'm not sure.
No,
What
miss,
did
that was me. That was Aliyah.
right?
But,
Aliyah, what you mean? Explain to Sade what you mean by that when you say because you may not be on the right track.
uh, well, because if, well, it's like, um, a chain reaction. So if the first thing on the chain is wrong, then it would obviously go down the wrong way that you wanted it to go. So if you're
Yeah,
unclear of the first part, then the rest would not be under that category then.
right. Anybody else? That's you understand what she means by that, Shade?
Yes, miss. So that means we have to revise our draft topic.
There you go. I could offer another one. It's also that you may think you're saying what you mean, but chances are you're not writing exactly what you mean. It may also be that the exercise is which ties back to what Ali is saying. It may be that the exercise is leading you in a particular direction because the exercise, it makes sense, it works. But then you want to go write what you want to as a topic, and so it does not match back up. Do you understand? So you have to trust the process, really. You really have to trust the process. So I am going to use, this is a Leanne Saraya's, and I'm also going to, I can't remember if Celeste is in class, but I'm going to use theirs as well. So a Leanne Saraya they have general idea of study being cultural representation. Particular interest, carnival masquerade. So they're looking at carnival masquerade within cultural representation. More specifically, traditional carnival masquerade. What in traditional masquerade are they looking at? So especially in the Jab Molasses. Precisely. So what about the Jab Molasses in relation to cultural representation that they want to look at? Methods and significance of movements behavior, right? So that leads now to the draft topic, understanding the gestures and mannerisms of the traditional carnival masquerade, the Jab Molasses. Do you understand that, Shade?
Yes, miss.
You see, what about the others? Do you all understand that now?
Yes, miss.
Right. If I go by let me pull up. Let's see if I could find this. I will look for that one in the meantime, but let me continue to make my point to go back to the screen. So therefore, that is what you would put here on the title. They could easily take that now and put it right here, just as it is stated. Okay, so your title must be set first before you come down here. Why is it important that you would include your title first? And we talked about this last week, I believe, before you start to put in anything else. Can anyone remind me? Why must that title be inserted first?
Because that's the point from which you will build everything else on.
Excellent, Shade. Well done. Correct. So we could now come to the background of our study. Okay, where are we taking the information from for the background to the study? Where could that possibly come from between worksheets 1, 2, and 3?
Miss, from worksheet one with the literature review.
From worksheet 1. From worksheet 1. So this is another reason why um, the answer will be no to Sade's initial question about even if you have the stuff up top there, not so correct, and the topic is okay if you could still run with that. Because what then is on worksheet 1 before you write that draft topic is what you would use then to construct this paragraph or two on background to the. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, miss.
Right? Let us pull, is Celeste here in class? Let's pull the one by Celeste in there as an example. What is Celeste's Peter? Let me see if I find that. Right. So Celeste and there, general idea of study, cultural experience. Particular interest, Caribbean food. More specifically, culinary festivals. But I had to do a little fix up there, especially with respect to significance to the local community, precisely Gotober in Trinidad. So they're looking at the significance of Gotober as a culinary festival to the local communities in Trinidad. So what they have before now, they can use as their background context. So it could start off something like cultural experiences in the Caribbean extend to food, because food is an important part of our culture and our way of being in the Caribbean. Is that not true?
Yes, miss.
And as a result, culinary festivals have become a major part of the festival and cultural experiences in the Caribbean. And they could give some examples of popular culinary festivals, right? In Trinidad and Tobago, one of the newer culinary festivals to have developed is called Goatober, which draws on the cultural tradition of goat preparation, but at the same time tries to whatever that they could say about this Goatober, right? This research seeks to examine this new festival to understand what has been its impact so far, because I think Goatober could be about 3 or 4 years old if so long. Do you understand that, class? If you notice, I have used everything that they would have identified from general ideal study down to precisely in. Do you realize that? So that you can utilize that first worksheet, those elements that come before draft topic, right? To create that background context. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, miss.
All right.
Yes.
Any questions, please do let the questions come, because as I say, this is where we are at this. We won't have opportunity to come back here. We must press on with other things. So if you notice in that little example I gave, it is relevant. Trying to get back in the document, but like it freeze. Can somebody scroll down? I believe that would be Aaliyah. Just scroll down for me, please. It seems as though I don't have control again. It's not allowing me to move the document. Okay, that's strange because, yes, scroll down a little bit. Down some more. Right. Okay. So if you notice, what I've done there is relevant. What I've said, there's not anything that has been beaten out, as we would say. It's not overly researched. And it gives a sense, it draws you in. It gives a very interesting scenario about the background context on culinary festivals. It says use proper referencing techniques, so that in talking about the major culinary festivals in the Caribbean or in Trinidad, you could pull that from a source online and you reference it. Does everybody understand? You could say according to Caribbean Tourism Organization, or according to the Trinidad Express or the Jamaican Mail, wherever you may find it. According to Nurse and Tull, some of the major culinary festivals are whatever. In other words, you can do a Google search and look for something that will give you a little snippet of information about your research focus that you could then use and reference that. So already the examiner knows that you are reading, that you are doing your background research on your topic. Does everybody understand that part?
So, miss, you can do that same thing for your literature review then. In terms
Yeah,
of the page one, you just put in where you would have found some background information, like for us in terms of the Tobago Heritage Festival.
the literature, but we ain't get there yet, Shade. We dealing, look what we dealing with, background to the study. So I want you to stay focused on this. You will confuse yourself if you try to think ahead and think of something else when I'm talking about something else. We're talking about background to the study. Right? We will get there in time. What we are in here is your research proposal template, and we are now dealing with the first section on the introduction, which is background to the study. You understand that still? You're still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. Does everybody understand what I'm saying there? Where is the rest of the class? Everybody is still here or no?
Yeah, miss.
Right. I, I
Yeah, miss.
cannot express to you all enough that you cannot multitask in this course. I know it is tempting. I was on a university too. I observe, I see what he's been doing sometimes. He's supposed to be in class, but he's doing something else. But you see, in this year course, you all have to pay attention. If not, just what happened there last week and how I had to go through those worksheets will continue to happen. But guess what? We are in November and we have things that need to be done. And so it's either that we're going to give this thing the attention it deserves or we're going to get some bad grades. Because I can't give you a good grade if you're not doing the work. Right. Let's go to purpose of this study now. Can you scroll up a bit for me, please, Aaliyah? So purpose of this study, they said this is the overarching aim, right? This is where we try to identify the overarching aim and what would be our corresponding objectives or what we call in our course subsidiary aims. What worksheet are we using for purpose of this study?
Worksheet 2.
Worksheet 2, correct. So it means therefore for the purpose of our proposal, if you fill out your worksheet 2 correctly, comprehensively, all you're doing is taking that information from there and putting it right here on the purpose of study. Okay, it also means for the purpose of the one page, once you have filled it out correctly, you are taking that information and you're putting it right there as your paragraph 2. Same thing could be said of what we just discussed earlier. All you have to do is take that and put that right there as your first paragraph for your one page. Everybody understands that so far?
Yeah, miss.
Yes, it is just that we have to do the two at the same time because we are a bit behind. I don't want to confuse you, but I want you to be clear in your mind as to where these worksheets are serving your interests.
Miss, sorry, you could just repeat that word we taken
Sure.
from where and put it.
Sure. So remember now, we just went through the first part, which was the, scroll back up for me, please, Aaliyah. Right, the background to the study. And I already established to you that we are pulling that information from our first worksheet. And I use an example to show you based on Celeste and Suzette's worksheet 1. Correct so far? And I'm
Yes,
saying
miss.
to you that you can when you construct that like that using that first worksheet, that is what you can use to put in your one page as the first paragraph. Remember, your one page requires what, why, and research question. Not so? So that is the first what. The first what is basically what comes from that worksheet 1, which is what comes from background to the study. Do you see?
Yes, miss.
And that same paragraph that you have on that for on the one page is what you would take there and put here on the background to the study. You get it now?
Yes, miss.
Scroll down for me now, please, again, Aaliyah. So when we come now to the second part now on the introduction, which is 1-2, purpose of study. We have already indicated that purpose of study is to do with our overarching aim and our subsidiary aims, or what they call here the objectives. Okay? And we've already been told by one of our colleagues that you take that from worksheet 2. So what I was saying there, Sade, is that just as you would have done with the background to the study section of with worksheet 1, you take worksheet 2. Once you have constructed that properly, that information then becomes your paragraph 2 in your one page, and that information is also slotted into here by your purpose of study. Okay, it's now moving for me again, which is here. Are you seeing that? Oops, sorry, just now moved a little too fast. Right, it's here. Everybody seeing where my pointer is going?
Yes, miss. So what you're
Did
saying
everybody
is that if we do the work properly, we'll be able to take it from the worksheet and just put it in this template.
Yes, Miss Shorty. Yes. Oh my goodness. That is so funny, but I love it. Yes, Shorty. That is basically what I'm bawling and saying, yes. Y'all have to trust the process. Okay? Missing just make up this mad, 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 mad. Right? Y'all know the first class she taught doing this. Right? Many, many, many have been taught doing this. I'm sure some of you probably have probably even been taught in secondary school by now by people who I have taught this to. So trust it, okay? Trust it. Right. So what I want is to pull up now again. Let's see who did purpose, who did a worksheet, who did a good worksheet too. Did anybody, when they opened theirs, did they have many errors or not too many? Or let me see. I think I'll go in by this is Leah and Saraya again. All right, just now let me see.
We had many errors, miss.
I see in it, yes, but I kind of fix it because it wasn't far fetched. But let me see. Let me see if it's Ariana on there. Let me see. Worksheet 2. Let me see. All right, I'm going to use Anashrita and Kwazi. So they have, I cannot remember how they had it initially, but you realize, Anashrita, I would have made a slight change to it. Not so? So they are
Yeah.
working on the Salaka feast, and the overarching aim is to document. So to document we in the worksheet first of all, class. So Shade with me still, right? Because I know you want to be clear on how you move from the worksheet to what you actually have to submit, right?
Well,
So
miss, we have to change everything because so I need clarity.
I know, and I am recording it. So I go in slowly and I'm making sure to give certain prompters so that your mind could you could follow my train of thought and what I'm saying. You see? So in their worksheet, they have this is worksheet 2. So we have already established that it is worksheet 2 that we are using to create that section of the template, which is called purpose of study. And it is this same worksheet 2 that is to be used to create the second paragraph in our one page. We good there so far?
Yes, miss.
Now remember, it is because we are behind, we're doing it like this. But what would have happened is that you would have been doing your one page first. So you all have to go fix that one page like yesterday and let me get it. Because remember, that is for marks. And it is also, the idea is that that is your guide to fill out the first part of your template. So this is why you're doing it like this, so that you're killing two birds with one stone this morning, that you have that clarity across the board. We good still. You understand that?
Yes, miss.
Right. So in Kwaze and Anashrita's worksheet 2, they have the overarching aim of our research is to document the nature, characteristics, and significance of the Salaka feast as a folk ritual. Based on that, then, Anashrita, would it be fair to say when you go back to your worksheet 1 that y'all are looking at that as an expression and not an experience? Anashrita?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You can see because there's to me there's a difference, but y'all will have to Because if that is the case, then I am not sure. I am asking y'all, and you can probably discuss that, Akwazi. Because if that is the case, then this first subsidiary aim to examine the literature around the significance of heritage festivals might have to go. So you have to make a decision.
Miss,
If
could
it
it
is,
be
mm-hmm.
representation? If you're looking at the significance it has to, because one of the things was, I think, to look at the significance of the society in Tobago and what it means to the people.
It could be, but I feel if you go down that angle, that is a little too broad.
Okay.
My feeling is that if you are looking at it either as an expression or experience, it helps you to either zero in. So you're either looking at the Salaka feast as the folk ritual in terms of the dance, or you're looking at it in terms of it being an experience, a traditional experience, a traditional folk experience. And if that is the case, your overarching aim could be slightly amended to read to document the nature, characteristics, and significance of the Salaka feast as a folk ritual experience. Okay?
Yeah, I understand.
Right? So that then, no class, you come back on track with me, no class. So for their subsidiary aims, this is what they have. One, to examine the literature around the significance of heritage festivals. And I would add there Anashrita heritage festivals and folk rituals.
Okay, and folk
Or
ritual.
you
Okay.
see? Because that is where you are going to. Right? Then they have to investigate the meaning behind the Salaka feast. Now, in a sense, now that is like the overarching aim. So that one they have to remove. Shade is still with me. I'm showing you the do's and don'ts of it. So you have to be clear that your subsidiary aims are really subsets of what you have as your main aim. So the first one is good so far because no, we've been told already from our previous lecture that we need to have an aim that reflects our literature review. So that particular aim that they have there reflects the literature review because it says to examine the literature around the significance of heritage festivals, and I'm saying to them, and also add to that, and folk rituals. Class, give me another way in which you can say that aim that would still reflect that it is about the lit review instead of saying to examine the literature. What is another way in which we could say that?
Miss previously researched topics.
You could say something like that. Previously researched themes or issues around the significance of, you could say it like that. Yes. What's another way? What about to examine the key perspectives? So anything like that can be used that would allow for the reader to see that you're dealing that aim when they see those terms like examine the literature, examine the previous research issues, to identify the key perspectives, to survey the theoretical issues around all of that suggests lit review. You get it now?
Okay, miss.
Right. A second aim that they have to document what is exactly done at a Salaka feast. Okay, so that now sounds like field research. That sounds like going out there and observing, probably looking at online stuff, talking to people, doing interviews that they can chronicle what is a Salaka feast because we don't know what that is, right? And then they have as a third aim to determine the impact of the Salaka, to determine the impact that the Salaka feast has on the society of Tobago. So that's only like a survey to me. Okay? So they have, so if you notice, class, this is an example of when I say keep it simple. They have three simple, doable subsidiary aims. Everybody sees that? Very simple. Three things that are important to do. That is all we need for you to do, class. Don't try to get too deep into it in the sense of, no, when I say don't try to get too deep in it, I don't mean that you would have vague aims because many of you had vague aims. But if you listen to what they have as aims, subsidiary aims, they clearly pointing you in a particular direction, a particular activity that has to be achieved that will help to answer what they have as the overarching aim. They say to document the nature, characteristics, and significance of the Salaka feast as a folk ritual experience. Does everybody understand that so far?
Miss, I now understand it.
All right. Where's the rest of the class? Because, I don't want to see madness again. Right. Carlina will check your own. I think you all have some, you've not checked you checked your document? Check your document and see, because some of you I definitely I did have to, you have a few corrections. I know you had some corrections to make in your one, but let me see what your two is. But as I said, I will be reviewing and using as examples where it's well done. Of course, if you have any questions when we get to that point where I get into those actual worksheets, we can do that. Oh no, you all have to do some work there on that. Right, I believe I made a comment about this. I forgot to. You all definitely have to redo your subsidiary aims. All of your subsidiary aims all point at one thing, which is the field research. So again, you can, when this recording is finished, you can revisit how I went through the example. And there was Kwazi and Anashrita. And before, I think I looked at Aliyah on this to understand how you would arrive at your subsidiary aims. Okay? All of your subsidiary aims cannot be focused on the field work component. Right? If you do that, it means then we're not at three as yet, Carlin. We're talking about purpose of study. Right? You want to ensure that you are reflecting what you will be doing in the entire exercise of researching this topic. So the aims, the subsidiary aims, when anybody looks at them, they could say, okay, that one is the lit review. Okay, that is part of the field research. Okay, that is the other part of the field research. Okay, that is to do with the conclusion or recommendations. So you should have either 3 or 4 aims. Everybody understands that now?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
It's now clear.
Yes, miss.
And they laughing, eh? All you're right to laugh at, miss. Okay, no problem. Once you get it done well, I will be happy. All you will laugh and I will be happy. I will laugh too. Okay. Aliyah, scroll down for me again, please. I feel as though I don't have. Okay, like
It's
it
just
allowed me.
Ariana.
Okay.
Just so
Oh,
you
it's
know.
Ariana. Oh, sorry. I know it's an A. Forgive me. I couldn't remember who was sharing for me. Thank you. Okay, let's scroll. It seems as though it allowed me to move it just now. Okay, you may have to. I think when you come on it, it stops me. Because remember, you're in charge here. Okay. Like I'm moving again now. Okay, so we're by 1-3. Problematic. Go back up. We by problematic. Up. Great. Where are we pulling the information for problematic from?
It's worksheet 3.
Worksheet 3. Oh, I had one other thing to say about 1 too. So once more, just as I said of the first worksheet, just as you have written that there on worksheet 1, you can put that into your second paragraph on your 1 page, and you can insert that way on your template. If you get it as a yes, you don't go and change up no words. So for your paragraph, you say new paragraph. The overarching aim of this research is to whatever, whatever. The subsidiary aims towards this are, and you list them. Right? You know the semicolon, you put 1 to this, semicolon, 2 to that, semicolon, 3 to that, semicolon, and that is your paragraph. When you are in the template, you can put it, the overarching aim is whatever, whatever, and then you can bullet it or number it just as it is in the template, because just as it is on the worksheet, because the template allows you to use bullets. It says that where possible you can do so if they give you that instruction. If they tell you write it as a paragraph, then you write it as a paragraph. Okay, but if they don't say that, you can bullet it. Everybody understands that?
Yes, miss. Yeah, miss.
Yes, yes.
All right. So we're going now by 1-3. Ariana, scroll me up, please, to problematic, please. 1-3. Great, right there. Stop right there. So, no, stop, please. So, problematic, we were just told by one of our colleagues that we are using worksheet 3 to write up our problematic. Now, this is where it gets a little different. That worksheet 3, just as we have it constructed there, is how it is to be placed in the 1 page. Everybody understand that? I repeat, just as we have it constructed on worksheet 3 is how it is to be placed on our 1 page representing our paragraph 3, which is to say our 1 page for paragraph 3 only requires the problem statement, which is the sentence, and then the factors that contribute to that problem statement, which is what you were asked to do on the worksheet, and that is what is required of the 1 page. Everybody's with me so far?
Yes, miss.
All right. So, Shadi, I hope you're still there, because I'm not hearing you again, so I don't want.
I hear, but I'm not too sure if I have to just listen over this part because I'm not too sure
Right?
exactly what you're saying.
I will go again. Pull up the worksheet. That may be the first thing that you may want to do. So that as I'm talking, you will have that clarity. All right, let me pull up this will have to be Ariana and Carlene's. I believe they did there as well. All right, let me. Ariana and Carlene, 3. The tier review, trying to find it. Thomas and Alexander, seeing 2, and seeing 1. Oh, it's true because it was done well, so I didn't all right, just now. Let me see if I could find it quick. No, that is not all your own. Did I reattach it for you all, Ariana? I left it out. Did I put it back when I sent back the email to you? Nobody taking me on.
Miss, my speaker giving a little trouble. You did not send it back. You only send back 1 and 2.
Because that is the one that do well. All right, just now. All right, I find it quick. Praise the Lord. Right. Right. So we're going again, Shadi. So we said that to be able to do the problematic, we are using worksheet 3. And we are saying that the two exercises that we have in front of us require us to do two things. The first concerns the one page, where the one page asks of us to construct the third paragraph, which is answering the question why. Why is this research important? And so for that reason, that is why on that worksheet 3, you see the first task laid out as this research is important because, okay? And whatever you put there, then that becomes your problem statement. So far, so good?
Yes, Miss.
Right? That problem statement now, for it to be that third paragraph, you need to have now the factors that are contributing to that problem statement. And you were told, I told you all you can have about 4. Let's have 5 to 6. But again, because we are doing a more condensed, comprehensive roll of the course because we're online, we're not pressing you off for 6. So 4 or 5 is good. All right? So you have then as your second task to identify what are those contributing factors. What are those factors that make that problem statement what so far so again?
Yes, Miss.
Those factors along with the problem statement, when you put them together now, that is what becomes your paragraph 3 on your one page. Okay?
All right.
Let's look now at what Caroline and Ariana did. They did the best problematic worksheet. This research is important because there seems to be, you all note your grammatical errors and whatnot, you will lose marks for that. Remember, it's intro to culture research method, so watch your typos and whatnot. This research is important because there seems to be a lack of knowledge about national dance being the limbo in secondary schools. I would even put, I would probably put, I would even qualify knowledge, say lack of knowledge in terms of how it is performed and technique or something like that. You all hear me, Caroline and Ariana? I would suggest that because that is really where you're going at. Okay?
Yes.
Here now, Shade, are there 4 contributing factors now? Why is that the case? Why does it seem as though, and notice they use the word there seems to be. So they're doing it correct, they're constructing it correctly. They're not sticking the neck out and saying it is so. It appears so. Right? So that is also correct. Well constructed problem statement. 1. They said difficulty in teaching the technique as teachers are unaware of the correct technique or proper demonstration. For all of your colleagues, you colleagues who would have just written a little one line, perhaps you can understand now when I said that to just have that 2, 3 words there, it's hard to determine what it is you mean by what you're saying. If you notice, they put a full sentence. So that's 1. 2, possible lack of interest from students, as it may be very hard to get teenagers to step out of their comfort zone to participate in classroom exercises. 3, parental perspectives and views, recognizing that religious views could have a part to play with participation of the students, as it may be viewed as a secular dance. 4, the misconception of limbo being an African ritual of death that may arise suspicion and deter from participation due to lack of, well, you don't have to put back lack of knowledge and understanding about the dance itself, but I get that. I mean, you could. Everybody understands that. So what they have there, when they have to write their paragraph 3, they just have to take that and put that right there. This research is important to do because there seems to be a lack of knowledge, There are 4 key factors that contribute to this. These are, and they note them there, and that is the third paragraph on the one page. Shall they understand that?
Fully, miss.
Other members of the class, do you all understand that? Tennille, Soraya, Leah, Lisa. Well,
Yes.
Lisa and Charlie together, right? Celeste not here. Or is Celeste here? I'm not
Miss,
sure.
I hear.
Right. You understand that, right, Celeste?
Yes, Miss, I understand.
Right. So you can't just have a little phrase because you could lack clarity with that. You see, and then for me, you know exactly what you mean. And if you notice, it harder for you because then how you write in the paragraph. You know, let the worksheet work for you. Don't rush down the work. And the key to that is not to leave it till last minute. The work isn't hard, but if you like pile up, you go find yourself in trouble. So try, I will suggest if Monday is a relatively light day, you give yourself a little time and you work on it as soon as you can after the class. Notice I skip us having lunch now. We go straight into the tutorial, which means you have an hour possibly before your next class. I would suggest you use that hour constructively and work on anything and correct it based on what we may have done in class so that when you come this week, you're still on track. But if you leave it to last minute, it is going to be a bit challenging, right? Okay. So what now is the difference with the template now? Let's see what the template tells us we have to do. So we're back onto the screen now. First, you indicate what is the broad problem arising from your background given above. So that is coming from where? Where is that coming from? What are they talking about there?
Worksheet 3, miss.
Right, that is, or even your one page, because that is the same first sentence that you would have put down on your worksheet, the same first sentence that would start your paragraph 3. Right, so that's what they're talking about. So they want that there first, okay? Then now they want the factors. We have the factors, don't we? If we use Anna and Carlene's example, we have 4 factors working with, not so?
Yes,
So
miss.
I'm asking you now, class, what is the difference now? The template, what do we have to a little differently to what we would have had to do on the one page to make this now the problematic that they want for our research proposal template? Can anybody tell me? Is it that we get to put back the same 4 problems just so and that is the end of that?
Oh, miss.
What do we have to do that's different now?
Miss, I think you have
Miss, you
to.
have to sorry.
Go ahead.
Miss, you have to expand on each of the factors and tie it back to the problematic.
Correct. You have to explain each of the factors. How do we go about explaining that? How do we tie it back as Sade has put it? Any suggestions? Any thoughts on that? Yes, Carlene.
Um,
No wrong answers. Hazard a guess. How do you then expand on it now that it is laid out in the way that they're saying? So we've heard from Sade that we got to expand on each point and tie it back. So Carlene, let's take the first one you all had. Remind me again. One of the first
difficulty in teaching the techniques as teachers are unaware of the correct technique or proper demonstration.
right. Tell me about that. If you had to explain that and tie it back in, just give it a stab. What are some of the things you would probably talk about?
Um, well, um,
You're not sure.
not sure. Miss, just a miss. Difficulty. Miss, do the research and miss, um, this is where when you do your interviews and stuff.
No, you ain't really reached there yet, you know.
Okay.
I mean, if you do, it's preliminary. But the thing with the problematic is you may not have to do you may not have to do interviews. um you might have to ask a few preliminary questions or do some reading. But let me ask a question: how did you arrive at these factors? How did you know of these factors? Because these are correct, these can stand. How did you gain awareness of these factors?
Well, Miss, when you're seeing some of the like children and some of the students performing like in videos and stuff, you're seeing where some of them have the wrong posture and wrong.
So that is what you put there. So
Okay.
you say observation of students engaging in the art form has shown students to have incorrect posture, whatever, whatever. And further research has shown that this occurs on account of incorrect techniques being presented and taught by teachers.
Oh,
You see, it's that kind of thing.
yes, miss.
So the question, so for answer, so when you say difficulty in teaching the technique as children, as teachers are unaware of the correct technique or proper demonstration, you ask the question, why is it? So why is it that teachers are unaware of the correct technique, right?
Miss,
Because they themselves may not have been taught well, because it's not required of them to do often. You see all of these things, and then you can say, and this has resulted in children having poor posture, da 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 da, in demonstration of the art form, kind of thing.
okay, miss.
You see? Does so Shade, do you understand that? Does everybody see how we expand? So it's just a little paragraph. No, a little paragraph is not two sentences, eh, class? Right? And I ain't saying it had to be 10 sentences, but it should have that each of these paragraphs should have 3 or 4 sentences that explain, that show why is how this is a problem, how each factor that you have identified is a factor that contributes to what you have stated as the problem statement, and how it ties back in to the problem statement.
Okay, miss.
Everybody understands? So you and Ariana, you have to talk it out. You say, okay, so you record it if you have to, if you feel you'll forget what you say. And then you
No,
sit down and you construct your discussion around what it is you would have discussed.
okay, miss.
Hi, Miss.
Yes,
Sorry about
please.
that. Excuse, I just got booted out, right? So I
Oh, dear.
missed part of what you were saying, and I'm gonna ask you to repeat it. I just gonna this is pertaining to problematic or
Yes,
one page,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it's correct. We were using it as an example. Carlene will fill you in. We were trying to demonstrate now what is the difference now when we come to the template, right? How do we, because we recognize that the template now requires something a little different to what we would put in the one page. The
Okay.
template asks for us now to expand on what we would have had on in the paragraph for the one page. And as Shade correctly said, it's a case where you got to expand on each of the factors that you would have identified and tie it back into the problem statement. So I just got Caroline to demonstrate that using the first factor. And it's really a matter of talking it out with your partner. And I'm suggesting, if you all think you'll forget, record what you're discussing and then go back at it and write it out. Most times you all know the information. Yes, you might need to do a little research, or you might want to use a reference. Like you might stumble across, or you could do a search. How many children or how many schools do limbo? So if it tell you only 2 schools, or for a fact only 3 schools in a particular area do it, I'm sure that will fit somewhere inside of the argument that you're trying to make there for one of those factors. So yes, you may do research to use some kind of reference to support the point that you're making. But for the most part, it is based on discussion. that you will be able to arrive at expanding on the factor for each one of those factors. Does everybody understand that? Delia, Lisa, Nashrita, Tanil, Celeste, Ali,
Yes,
everybody
miss.
understands that?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
All right.
miss.
Let me see if I know the challenges I had with some of them is that you all know who you are. You had too short a factor, too abbreviated, and I don't even think you yourself would know what to write based on what you have there because it's so brief. It's difficult to tell what angle you're coming from or what's the point that you're trying to make. So you want to do like what Ariana and Caroline did and make your factor a full sentence. When you do it like that on the worksheet, all you have to do then is just put it down like that for your one page paragraph. And when you have it like that, that is your opening sentence for the paragraph inside of the template. So then you just have to expand on it. You see? So work the worksheets, for want of a better way of saying it. That's why they're there. It's ready to help you to build your writing, what you need to write. Okay, so we understand that. Right, where are we now in the template now? Let's see again. Did it stop sharing? I feel it may have stopped sharing. I'm not seeing it. Are you seeing it? You all still seeing the shared screen?
No, miss.
No,
No.
miss.
No, miss.
No, miss, because I got booted out. I'm gonna share if I
Oh,
could change.
right, it's true, it's true. Because up to now, mine still ain't come up here. Only PowerPoint is seeing here. I feel I know what the problem is, with this thing, but I'm not. It's not allowing me to bring up Word documents. I don't know if I have to download PowerPoint, I mean Word within the Teams or what, but it's a very strange thing. Okay, let me know when you're able to pull it back up, please. Thanks.
Miss, do you have it there?
Yes, I believe I'm seeing it.
Okay, great.
Right, great. Okay, I'll pull it up bigger again. Once more, you'll have to give me permission.
Sure. I really need to make.
Okay, I have permission now. Okay, yes. Right. Okay, so we are going down now to. So we're now at the research question and minor research questions. Right. Now, where do you think we will get the research question from? Where will that come from? Where do these two things come from? What have we done already that would allow for us to create a major research question and minor research question based on what we've done so far? Anybody? Celeste, do you have any idea? Soraya? Where do we get our major research question and minor research questions from?
Miss, your major research question is from your PhD initial topic.
From where?
Your paper one that I have it, or your initial question, research question on the paper one, the research tutorial sheet one.
No.
Okay.
Think about it. You have 1, 2, and
Miss,
3. Where you think that
miss,
major research question could come from? That's
where you
Celeste.
find it? The permanent.
It could come from where? Tanila is saying tutorial sheet. That's problematic? No.
Miss, could it be the overarching aim?
Correct. Who is that? Getting the
Anna
apple
Shrita.
today, Anna Shrita. All right, Anna Shrita getting the apple today. Go to the top of the class, Anna Shrita. That's right. Y'all look at it. Look at it. You see how easy this thing is? Your major research question could come from your overarching aim. All you doing is taking that and turning it into a question. And that becomes your major research question. Let us try somebody's. Let's see. Who wants to offer up theirs to be used? Whose group we've not used yet? Let's try somebody else. Let me see who I have here. I used everybody's group so far? Tanil and Deli, I didn't use yours. Let me see. Oh, let me see if I could find yours. Why are you not seeing y'all in? I sent you all back something, right, Delia and Tanil? I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing you alone. All right. I hereby this will have to be a Leah and Soraya's zone. I'll just use this because I have it pulled up here. So you remember the overarching aim presented by Aliyah and Soraya is to understand the gestures and mannerisms of the Jab Molasses, specifically with respect to performance. How can we change that into a research question? How do we turn that into a question? Let me hear anybody convert that into a question for me. So simple. Quickly, we're wasting time. Come on, this is not difficult. Just change that into a sentence for me, please. Yes, Carlin, go ahead. Understand the gestures and mannerisms of the Jab Mulasi, specifically with respect to performance. How do we make that a question? Aliyah Saraya, it's yours. Try at it. Nobody's saying anything, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, what are the movements and behavior of the Jab Molasses during performance?
Yes, no. She said, what are the movements and behaviors? But the thing is, the overarching aim has to understand the gestures and mannerisms. So a little technicality. If that is what your overarching aim has, then you go back with those two terms because those two terms mean something. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? So it could be what are the gestures and mannerisms of the Jab Molasses specifically with respect to performance. As simple as that. Let's get another one. I was trying to find Tanila and Delia's. Let me go back into the email and see if I can find it. I don't know why it's not coming up. Oh, that's why you all had challenges. No, just now. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Okay, I see what happened here. You all have some work to do on your overarching aim. So I wouldn't use that for that quite. Okay, Carlene. All right. So where then, class, would the subsidiary aims come from? If we've been able to use the overarching aim to create the research question, where then can we pull the minor research questions from? Anyone, quickly.
Subsidiary aims.
Correct. So you take each one and you turn it into a question. What are the key perspectives surrounding whatever, to what extent this, how can this? You use the appropriate starter for a question that fits what you are examining there. Do you understand that, class? And each one of them then becomes your minor research question. Everybody gets that? Simple as that. So again, same thing, right? So just as you stated like that, that is how you put it then into this document here. You have minor research, sorry, you have major research question is, you put it. Then you go, you leave out a line, you come down, you put minor research questions and you bullet them. You bullet them or you number them 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, miss.
Great, good. Okay, we go in again. Definition of key terms. Now, this definition of key terms, why is it moving about like that? Oh, stay put. Okay. Right, definition of key terms and concepts. So what this is really, class, is that under humanities research, within their work, they always do a kind of a glossary, all right? So this is what definition of key terms and concepts are. So all you are being asked to do is to pick out what may be 10 key words or phrases that are specific to your research and you give a definition. You can construct your own definition or you can utilize not Oxford, not Cambridge, no dictionary definitions. Do you hear me, class? No dictionary definitions. All right, so you Google the word or the term if it is that you don't have a definition for it for yourself, and you refer to the literature and get a definition. No Oxford, no Cambridge, no Wikipedia definitions. Is that clear to everybody? So for example, for Quasi and Anashrita, we should have a brief definition for Salaka, possibly, then Salaka feast. We can have a definition for the word feast as well. We can have a definition in the case of Celeste, culinary festivals. We could have a definition for Gotober, how the term arrived, what it means. All right, and so on. So you should have at least 8 to 10, maybe even more. That depends on what you're working on and what you could find, right? But it shouldn't be no 5 terms because you all are all doing pretty good, solid pieces of research. So you will have a rich glossary. All right, so that is what you put there. And the way in which you do it is you would have the word in one column and then you have the definition next to it, right? You could put it in a table if you want, or you can put the word on tab and put the meaning. And on every new line, you would have your meaning, and then you go to the next line, put the word again, and then you put what it means to the side of it. Does everyone understand that?
Yes, miss.
All right.
Miss, excuse me 1 second.
Sure, yes. Go ahead, please, Lisa.
Miss, in our case where you have the Tobago Heritage Festival, how would you do the definitions there?
You mean in terms of what specifically? For the word itself, Heritage Festival
Yeah,
in general?
general. Okay.
Well, again, as I said, your research is dealing with this particular area. So there are words that you will be using as you do the research. So one of the things that you should give a definition for is the Tobago Heritage Festival. You can
Okay.
also give a definition for heritage. You
Mm-hmm.
see?
All right.
That you
Thank
go
you so
down
much.
and you pick out terms that are relevant. Like, for example, I see the girls using something called movement quality. I believe that's Tanil and Delia. I asked the question, is that a particular terminology that you all use?
In dance, yes.
Movement quality. Oh gosh, I love it. I was sure. I really wasn't sure. I love it. So therefore, Tanil and Delia, you know you're not changing that. But then now in their key terms and concepts now, you will put a meaning for movement quality. And if therefore that means that movement quality probably has some characteristics that make it up, not so? So therefore, Tanil and Delia, that is what you would be using to do the comparative analysis between the local Indian dance forms and the ones abroad and the one from India, whatever makes up movement quality. Okay, so you should have a definition for Indian dance, for example. And if there are particular dances that have names, all those should be in your glossary, and you give meanings for each of them. Your meanings can also be accompanied by examples. You know, what's a perfect example? I'm sure everyone has seen the famous funny on TikTok, the Trini Dictionary. You all know the gentleman who does his Trini
Yes,
Dictionary. Has everyone seen that?
Yes, yes.
And then
the
he
letter of
gave an example as to how you use it. That is what you're doing. You know, people laughing at that and that is so funny, but that is cultural research in action there, you know. That is what he has done is he has built a lexicon. That is a brilliant piece of work. That is like a modern day cote se cote la. Everybody know cote se cote la? Wait.
heard,
You all
heard the
don't know
term
cote
already.
se.
Yes, I heard it
Besides
already.
how you just pronounce that? Okay.
It's a
Oh my
slang or
good.
something.
Well, what trouble is this? The Bajan telling the Trinis. Well. You all never heard of the book Cote se cote la, the dictionary?
Yes,
No,
I know
miss.
it.
You know it? Well, praise God. At least somebody here know it. Some Trini know it, because that would be a crying shame if Miss know it and all you know it. Well, you know, in that one, you have all these definitions, and even that you could refer to the Cote se Cote la for some of the meanings of these things, because I'm sure some of you may very well end up having some terminology that you would get a definition for in there. Like that kind, you can use a specialized dictionary. You understand? But you can't use Cambridge and Webster and Oxford to define your terms here. We are researchers, so we use specialized dictionaries. So it could be encyclopedia or investopedia, but clearly we're using references that are bona fide. Do you understand?
Yes.
Everybody still with me? Okay, great. All right. How is everybody's level of understanding now? Are we a lot more comfortable with that now?
Yeah, miss. A little more detailed.
Right. Everybody feels better. Any questions? No. Now we have 1 more hour. I am going to steal a little bit of what would have been your lunchtime because we're going to go right through. At this time now, I want to, if there's anyone who has any questions with respect to their particular worksheets, I would like you to share the screen with me if you mind. And if there's anything you want to ask, or you can ask me because I can pull it up here. I can see it. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. Right? Anyone, is there anything you want to ask? Where I would have given a comment in terms of your various worksheets? We will deal with that now. Anybody?
Yes, in terms of Ariana and I, the worksheet
Yes.
1 and 2, what
Yeah.
exactly we work on?
Tell me which worksheet are we speaking about so I'll know to pull it up so when you ask the question I can refer.
Um, Worksheet 1 and 2, that's with Ariana, we're doing in limbo.
Mm-hmm.
In the in depth, we just said to refer to worksheet 1 and 2.
Your voice is a bit muffled. Maybe it's a little too close to your device. I'm not hearing you that clearly.
Okay, Miss, we did not go in depth as to what specifically in worksheet 1 and 2, just to and put a note that to refer to worksheet 1
You
and
you are not seeing the comments are not coming up. I
mm,
have comments to this side. You have to go into reviewer and open your is everyone seeing the comments that I've placed on the worksheet?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
it says on the side, it's on the right hand side.
let me just go into it.
You will see like a box that looks like
Yes.
if
A
somebody
box
making a
or
comment.
Okay. Yes.
Click on the box.
you seeing it now?
I'm now opening the document. I'm opening it on my phone actually.
That might be why. As just to be sure it's
Yeah,
not
let me put
document. Ariana, can you check and be sure that it's perhaps a case of how Carlene is viewing it from the phone?
Yeah, miss. I will have to take off the sharing of the screen. I don't know if you're seeing my desktop view right now. Are
No,
you?
not. You can go ahead and do that and check so that we know because it will be critical for one of you to at least be able to see it. But it may very well be because Caroline is looking at it from the phone. You'll have to go into Word. Do you have Word on your phone, Caroline?
no, I don't. I remove it.
Well, that is why. Do you have access to the device?
We're looking at the tutorial sheets, right, miss? Which
Yes.
one?
Yes. Look, she's saying that she couldn't see the comments where I made the review. Just give
Okay.
me one moment,
And
class. Take this call quickly. Check for me,
Callie,
please, in the meantime.
sure. Callie, that is worksheet 1 or 2.
Both, well, both of them because we have to do, she said we have to do corrections to 1 and 2.
So which one would you like me to open up?
Anyone, just anyone so we could, because I was just asking her what's in particular now that we have to review.
Okay. You also see my screen?
Here.
Yeah,
What is what exactly is being? Just the document. That's the doc file, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, I'm still seeing your screen, Ariana. You can get it. Let me stop control. See if that will help. See if you can take it off now.
No, I can take it off, miss.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure that you all were seeing it and not seeing anything else because it looks as from my perspective it looked like everything was being shared
No,
in
no,
terms
it's
of okay.
no, it's not. So check and let me know if for sure if you are seeing the comments, please.
I am seeing the comments.
All right. So, Carlene, the challenge is on you and I will have to try and figure it out. She might have to share screen with you. I don't know if that would work. Um,
Plus,
Well,
Ariana, so yes.
I could always, she could always like screenshot it and send it to me. It
yeah.
could work.
Plus,
Okay, so can you do that quickly? And in the meantime, now, is there anyone
Miss,
else? Yes?
the only
Yes,
one I'm
miss.
not seeing comments for is the last one, worksheet
Three.
4.
What is that? Three
No,
or four?
worksheet 4. Worksheet
What
4.
was
And
worksheet
it's
four about? I don't even think we had reached there. What is worksheet four? And I don't think I had that correct anyhow. What was worksheet four?
okay. Hold on.
What was on worksheet four? Find me.
The subject, getting the subject, the context, and the variable.
No, but what were you supposed to be doing ultimately? That's not the focus. What's the title of that worksheet?
Developing a research question.
Oh, but we just did that anyway.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
understand how you do it, right? So you can
Yeah.
forget that and just create them.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes.
They are here.
Yes.
With sheet 2, we know we have to work on the overarching aim, but with the subsidiary aim, one of them, you said that it seems like the overarching aim. So I was wondering if we should put that as the overarching aim.
Sorry, it broke up a little bit. What were you saying? Repeat. What you were saying? Go ahead again.
With sheet 2, we know
Worksheet
we have
2.
to work. We know we have to work on the overarching aim, but
Mm-hmm.
in the subsidiary aim, it's have one of them. You said it seems like the overarching aim. So I was
Yes.
wondering to put it as the overarching aim and
Yes,
remove
and
it from
work
the subsidiary.
there. Yes, use that and work from there. See if you can develop your subsidiary aims better.
Okay.
It does that seem to make sense though in terms of what I'm suggesting? It seems
Yes.
more to me. I don't know. I stand guided by you in the sense you all are doing research. But when I looked at them, that one, I'm pulling back up your thing again. That one looked to me, which is number 2 in it. I'm
Yeah.
looking at, yeah, that seemed like the overarching aim to me. And then from there, well, the number 1 is fine, of course, right? Your number 1 subsidiary aim. But to me, the 2 seemed like your overarching. And
Okay.
there you can, and then you can work from there, right? And construct 2 more. Because you have 1 already, which is your theoretical perspectives. And then see if you can construct 2 others.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You're welcome.
Yes, miss.
Yeah.
For Soraya and I on worksheet 3,
Mm-hmm.
for the second task, when it comes to naming the factors that contribute, what direction should our thing should be taken, because you said that our own wasn't correct.
Right. So Soraya and let me just
Yeah.
pull up. Let me see if I could find it quickly. Because I will want to worksheet 3 it is, right?
Yeah, miss.
Oh Lordy. All right, let me go back into the email. And again, I pull up quickly that way. Who had sent the email? Is it Leah who had sent it? Okay, right. Found. Right, I found. You all had yours in one thing, right?
Where's that, miss?
I had submitted yours as one complete document, one after the next, right?
Yes, miss.
Okay. All right, so we look at our worksheet 3, is that or 2? 3?
3,
3. Right.
for the factors that contribute to the problematic.
Right. So this is like what I was saying. I mean, I don't understand them at all. What do these things mean? Because the
So,
way in which they're written, they don't even seem correct. So what is a huge risk for plagiarism? I don't understand.
okay. So in other words, just fully explain. It don't really need to be changed.
They may very well be because I don't understand what is the huge risk of plagiarism. How is that a contributing factor to why the job Malassi has not, there's not been a compilation of the performance aesthetic that characterizes the mass form. I'm not understanding. Why would you say that? What is it that you're really trying to say?
That due to not having a lot of information online about the Jab Malassi, it could be a reason why, let's say, the journalists and these people that would post these kind of information, they probably thought it would have been a risk of plagiarism, especially dealing with stuff that is cultural to
Who is
us.
they? But I don't. It's how you explain it as well. So who is the they that would think it's a risk?
The journalist or the author themselves.
Yeah, but if you write something, how would somebody plagiarize it? You write it. It's documented. So you see, that's what I mean. And what is lack of credibility for the author or journalist? I don't know. Where is this coming from? I feel as if you talk to one person and somebody shaping your mind where this is concerned. Where is this coming from? What is this focus about journalists and whatnot?
Okay. All
You
right.
see,
Well,
see,
uh,
I want y'all to take a step back. You look at what you have as your problem statement. I believe I helped to shape it a little bit. While
yeah.
Malassi is a relatively popular traditional masquerade among carnival spectators, which is true, there is yet to be a comprehensive compilation of the performance aesthetic that characterizes the mass form. So even though it's popular, then people like to run and see the Jab Malassi. There's a you can't go to any one source and see a documentation of the movement. I believe something like that has been done for Sailor Mass already. There's probably even that for the Midnight Rubber. I'm not, because Jab Malassi is also what we refer to as Blue Devil and all of that, right?
Right.
Right. So people just know it, so they know it in its contemporary form, and they like to say, so what are the factors that contribute to it? And that's actually one, because people know it as Blue Devil, and a lot of people don't connect that Jabalasi, Blue Devil is a form of Jabalasi, or that is what it is. So that's one of the factors that contribute to that. So there is this assumption because it is so popular that it must be written somewhere and noted down somewhere. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That is actually one of the contributing factors I've just given there. Now we're still recording, so you can always go back into the recording of the lecture and pull that. So you need to come up with three other factors like that. Now when I say like that, not written the same along the same argument, but rather that explain why is it that although it is so popular, nobody has compiled really the performance aesthetic that characterizes the mass form. I have your check to be sure that nobody has done it. You check to be sure, right? That there's nowhere nobody has documented the job Malassi in terms of its in terms of its performance, like why they make the noises they do and why the color and all of that. You sure? Why the
Well,
tail and all of that.
we did check, but there wasn't much. They had a one or two that had a slight description of it, but that was one of our. That is why we created that problem, is because there wasn't much information about it.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Because I think you're onto something here, but you have to be able to express it well, you see?
Yeah.
So I gave you one example of contributing factors, so you need to come up with three more.
Okay.
All right, work on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the thing is, class, because of how we have done this now, I am expecting that these one pages will be fixed and sent back to me in a matter of 2 days, huh? Because you need to be working in on your template at this time. Anybody else who has questions to do with this? Let's spend about 10 more minutes on that. It's so long because we want to get into annotated for a bit. We do need to talk about annotated today because this week when we have back our makeup class, we're going to go into field research. We need to do that lecture this week because you all need to be out in the field like by next week. Yes, anybody? Everybody else is clear? All right. I am happy to hear this. I am happy to hear this. I feel a little better as well. There has been a lot more interaction today. So I am confident that you all are a lot clear on what is required of you. Let me see if this thing would allow me to actually pull up the lecture to do it annotated. I will try. So as I do this, you can take a 5-minute break, get your snack, get something to drink, go to the bathroom if you need to, stretch your legs, and 5 minutes we'll start again. Let me see if I can pull the lecture and sort out why we keep having this trouble me sharing screen. All right? So you can take a break at this point in time.
Miss, if we encountering further problems, could we contact you?
You should not at this time. I don't want to say yes at all because I have 4 other classes. So I am
Alright,
not going
no
to say
problem.
you have your recordings. Go back through the recordings of the lecture. This is one of the reasons why I knew you all were having challenges because you're not reviewing the lectures. I can tell because the way in which that YouTube is set up, it tells me how often it's been viewed. And for my 5 courses, this is the one where the least views of lectures. So if you all don't go back and refer to the recordings, I don't know. Me helping is me repeating exactly what I've said before. So you all need to reference and utilize the resources that have been given to you and work on your various components of the coursework. Right?
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that you will be able to get it done once you have referred to those things. Right? So please do that. Right? Friday I would want back the 1 pages. And like I say, we still have to identify a day and time as to when we can have our makeup class. But we definitely need to get that underway.
Excuse me, miss, is it in 2 days' time you would like back the 1 page or Friday?
Yeah. Friday coming. How many days? What I said, 2 days time at first.
Yeah.
Today is what now? Monday? Yes, give me it in 2 days, please. I'm very conscious of y'all being behind. I need for y'all to catch up. So yes, please, let me get it in 2 days' time. Thank you in Jesus' name. I'd appreciate that. Okay. Okay, like I could open up something, but that's not the lecture I want. All right. Okay, I'll use the whiteboard to teach then. Here it is. Are you all seeing the screen?
no, miss.
So you see, it's still giving me the trouble.
Miss, we still have up the document from the last time.
Okay. Ariana, could you remove the document for me, please? Thanks.
Sure, miss, no problem.
Thank you. Let me see if I will be able to pull up this one now. It's Okay, let me see now if I can get it up. Is it sharing now? No? What the heck? Please tell me it's sharing. Are you seeing a shared screen? Ah, look like it's going on share. All praises. So is the word. No. Are you seeing anything? Okay, looks like it's coming up.
Yes, miss.
Oh, yay! Okay, this is the first lecture I've been able to share since I've received this machine. Oh my God. Is everybody back? Everybody's back and ready?
Yes, miss, I'm here.
Right.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, class. All right. So this lecture now is where we go into what would be like our second module on our course outline, and what is the second section of our template, and what would be one of the components of when we submit our field research report, right? Now, it is called building the literature review. Okay, and in research, the literature review is just as the terminology says, it is a review. You may see it also referred to as a survey of literature. But what it essentially is asking that we would discuss what has already been published on the particular subject area that we are looking at the main themes and issues that relate to your research topic, your research objective, and your research question. Right? It might be that you are able to also present there new interpretations on what has been there before. And when I say new interpretations, this is not what Joanne, well, unless Joanne wrote on it, but this is not what Sade, Carlene, Ariana, Tenille, Kwazi, Aliyah, Celeste, Suzette, Delia, Soraya, and Ashrita think of. No, it's not that. But it is what people have published already. Okay? So, and that is why they call it a lit review, because they're asking you to survey what already has been written. Now, we sometimes have a way in which we say, Miss, you don't have anything on my topic. I can't find anything on my topic. And I know some of you are already bubbling to tell me that. which is one of the reasons as well, I suspect you may be having that challenge or would have been having that challenge, because we don't have any challenges now, I believe, with what we've done so far. Because in our mind, we would have been thinking about our lit review in a particular way, which I suspect is not necessarily what should comprise your lit review. And I will come back to that shortly. I therefore cannot emphasize enough what is underlined here as you're seeing on the screen. Published on themes and issues related to a specific research topic, research objective, and research question. So to construct your lit review, you are using three things that you have already developed. Your research topic or your title then, your major research, your overarching aim, and your major research question. Those are the three things that you use to guide you as to what should be going into your lit review. So the first thing that I always ask students to do, and I will ask you all to do it now as best as you can, even though I know you have changes, or write down the steps, is that you take a sheet of paper and you put at the top your research topic or your title, your overarching aim, and your research question. You put those three at the top of a sheet. That is the first thing you do. Now, before we, everybody has that?
Can you please repeat?
Yes, you can repeat one more time.
Sure, no problem. You are writing on a sheet of paper for me your research topic or title, your overarching aim, and your major research question. Yes?
Okay, miss.
And I am saying to you, those are the three elements of what you have built so far that are the important ingredients for building the lit review. Okay? Those three things. Has anybody been able to write their three there? Anyone? Can you call it out for me? Yes, class, come on. Anyone have their three? Quickly.
It's not even an example. Of course, let's also be the example.
Yes, Paula, tell me what's your topic, then tell me what's your overarching name, and then tell me what's your research question. Go for it.
Topic, we,
Either Carlin or Ariana talking. Where the others? Y'all can say, or type it inside the chat then if anything. But please do it quickly because we want to maximize the time we have. Yes, class. Nothing? Nobody?
Hello.
Yes, yes, Susan, I'm hearing you, but please mute your device for now. Thank you. Right, I'm not getting any example. I'm moving on. If y'all don't work with me, I can't work with y'all. Y'all don't make this hard, please. Okay.
Well, Miss Thomas, once I give you my example and you tell me mute my mic.
Suzette, it is not possible for you to give an example because you've just joined the class, unless you and Celeste have been conferring. We did a lot of work already in the class. So I somewhat suspect that you won't be able to give that example unless Celeste sent you the information. I'm not hearing her talking. So please mute the mic for now. You'll have to refer to the recordings of the lectures so that you can get back up to speed in terms of what we've been doing for the day. Yes, Ariana.
Okay, miss. So,
Mm-hmm.
trying my best to do with it and really hoping that I'll make some progress, right? The study of limbo dance and dance education,
Mm-hmm.
right? To examine,
At the secondary school level.
right, at the secondary school level, um, seek to raise awareness as to the lack of dance, if there's a lack of dance being
All
taught.
right. Oh no, y'all can't use your example. I now remember because y'all have to work on that. My apologies, Ariana.
Okay. No,
Remember, you all have to do some editing and you will check the comments, right? My
yes,
apologies for that.
no problem.
But like Aaliyah and Celeste, come on. Where's
Yeah, miss.
Celeste?
Miss, I'm here, but my call was breaking up just now, so I didn't hear what you asked.
Oh, go ahead. What I asked for, I just instructed you all to put on the paper there your topic, your overarching aim, and your research question, your major research question. You see what the slide is saying here? We're all still seeing the screen?
Yeah, yes, miss.
Right. So can you do that for me, please? And I was asking because I wanted to use an example. Can you please tell me what is your research topic again? State your overarching aim as well as the research question. Can you do that for me, please, quickly, Celeste? Y'all are not so bad. I think we could use yours in terms of the changes that would have been made or not made.
Miss, the feedback you sent me back, I only got one tutorial sheet. I didn't get the other ones. I don't know if you have made comments on those.
I did. Oh dear.
Because I
All
only got the first page with the general idea and stuff. I didn't get the others.
right. All right, I'll have to email it back because I did make some changes. I did give some comments. Is anybody in a position to? All right, I'm gonna have to move on
Yes,
because
miss.
yes, who's talking now?
Alia.
Okay, go ahead, please. Right, I'm seeing Tennille has hers here. Great, awesome, thank you. Can everyone refer to the chat? So Tennille and Delia have there a comparison between Trinidadian Indian dance groups and authentic. It can't be dance groups. You have to take out the groups. I think it's a compare. If I remember correctly, I think you all had a comparative analysis. A comparative analysis of Trinidadian Indian dance and authentic dance. I don't think you could put the word authentic there either. You may want to say original or something like that. Tanilan, Delia, hearing me? Right. Overarching aim to compare the different movement qualities between local Indian dance to authentic Indian dance. You have to take out that groups. It sounds like you're penalizing the people. Research question: what is the movement quality of Trinidad Indian dance different from that of authentic Indian dance? Good. Class, if you notice, there's some certain keywords that keep popping up here, right? One of the critical phrases is movement quality. The other is the idea of authentic or original dance. So the point is that when building the lit review, the reason for putting these three things there is that you try to identify keywords and phrases that are popping up across these three elements. which will help guide you as to what you should be looking for in the literature. Does everybody understand that? So when you write out these 3 elements on the paper, you're using different colored markers to circle and identify, you note them down. So if I had to use this as an example, movement quality will have to be 1, right? Because I'm sure there are different people who've written about movement quality and what comprises movement quality. Another one will have to be Indian dance. People definitely would have written about it, even if they're not from Trinidad and Tobago, but I know people have. Like, I believe Sabakar and Singh is one of the people who have written on Indian dance, for sure. Right? Then there's the idea of indigenous Indian dance. Then somebody may have written on the local Indian dance movement in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you notice, those themes, those issues, look at say themes and issues that I have identified there have all come out of these 3. Right? And this is how we do research. No, class, I don't know anything about dance, But what I have done is I have allowed the research topic, the overarching aim, and the research question to lead me. It's like playing detective. So when I pull out those elements, as I have just done there, it allows me now to then go into the literature and look for what people have had to say about these 3 elements. Everybody understands that so far?
Miss, I have a question, right?
Yes.
So what you're saying, right? Because so our topic is about GoTober, right? That really has not been researched before, right? But
No.
based on like the topic and the overarching aim, etc., we would be able to get some points out of that, to put some stuff in the literature review, such
Like,
as the culinary festivals, etc. We'll still get some information on that.
correct. That's right, Celeste. You will definitely get literature that talks about culinary festivals. You will get literature that talks about indigenous foods, indigenous cuisine, right? Even for you will get, there's even a whole book on Caribbean food. I'll look and see if there's anything there relevant for you all, and I will try and scan it and send it for you. Right? So yes you can. That is exactly, did everybody understand what Celeste has? That's exactly what you do. Right? So their particular case study focus, in their case being Gotober. And you might still get a 1 or 2 thing on Gotober, but that's not the focus of the lit review. If you see what I'm saying, the focus on the lit review is to review the literature that exists around your subject area, around your focus. So that is why we note down the topic, the overarching and research question, because in writing those down, the terms, the issues, and the themes will jump out at you, just as you did, Celeste, where you recognize, okay, well, in really, and I'm not Gotober, but I know I will find literature on culinary festivals. I know I will find literature on indigenous foods. I know I will find literature on looking at the significance of festivals. Yes, you definitely will, because I'm one of the people who have written on festival impacts. So you could even Google festival impacts. You could go as far as to do festival impacts of culinary festivals. Do you see?
Yes.
Right. So that then becomes your step 2 class. So step 2 then is to pick out what are the themes and issues that are common across the 3. When you look at the 3, what is jumping out at you? You identify them and you note them down, because that is what you will be using to build the literature review. Let's go on now. Before we go any further, it is important that we know why is it. Yes, no. Right. It is important that we know why is it we are doing the lit review, because then we will know exactly what we're going in the literature for. So it says that it is to show your reader in this case your lecturer, that you have read and you have a good grasp of the main published work concerning the topic or the question. So you see why the little subheadings, the little issues that you've identified come in handy. So that now leads you now to your next step, which is that for all of those issues that you identified, if it's 3 or 4 or 5, you use them now to create what we call subheading topics. Does everybody understand what is a subheading topic? Hello? Waiting. Does everyone understand what is a subheading topic? Nobody
No,
understands?
Miss, can you explain?
Okay. So a subheading topic is, so your main topic, let me say, in this section is perspectives, theoretical perspectives, right? Keep theoretical perspectives on whatever you say you are examining, all right? A subheading topic, I don't know if you've ever looked at a journal article, but when you pull up a journal, I wonder if this thing would allow me to share that, boy. No, because they ain't bringing up all my options. But if you go and you look up a chapter, you will see that the chapter will have the name title of the chapter, but then it always has little subheadings as to what you're examining under a particular section. Have you ever seen that? It's like a smaller title within the chapter. Class,
Yeah, Miss.
don't make this difficult. We are almost at the end. Please stay focused that we can get through this. Right. So you have, when you have to go and do research and you're looking into a particular book or a journal article, they will have the main title, but then you will see little subheadings within the article that tells you what each different section is addressing. So you might see it say importance of, let's say you were looking at an article that looked at the bongo dance of Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe that was the title. You might see a subheading saying what is bongo and they explain what that is. Not so?
Yes, Miss, I've seen
Yes,
that.
Miss.
Yeah.
Good. So those are what we call the subheadings. So you, in your lit review, it is expected that you too would have subheadings, because that is how the reader will know that you have been reading and that you have a main grasp. And you pull those subheadings, you create those subheading titles from these issues and themes that you pulled out of your research topic, research overarching aim, and research question when you write them all together on one page. You get it now?
Miss, just repeat that last part.
I'm saying to you that you are using the research topic, the overarching aim, and the research question to pull out those themes and issues. And it's based on those themes and issues, you use those to create the subheading titles. So for example, the others would have had as one of the themes coming out for their Indian dance topic, Indigenous Indian dance. So they may have as a subheading, nature of Indigenous Indian dance. They have their movement qualities. They may have something called the nature and characteristics of movement quality in dance. That is a subheading title. So you use the themes that you pull out from the three elements: research topic, research aim, research question, And based on those themes or issues that you pull out, that's why I told you write it all on one sheet so you can see it in front of you, so you can see the similarities across the three elements. And when you have pulled out what those are, you then take those and use those to create subheading titles, just as I demonstrated there using Aaliyah and so that's Aaliyah and Soraya's work. No, Tennille and Dahlia's example here. Do we understand that?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Everybody, Lisa, Sade, you all get that? Please don't come and tell me next week you don't understand, eh?
Yeah, miss.
Right, that is clear so far. So that is the reason why you have to make your subheadings, because when you have the subheading now, class, listen good. That is what guiding you in the literature. That is what guiding you when you go and do your search. It's like playing detective. All right. And when you put it all together, that is what then becomes what they're calling as point to your theoretical framework. When you finish, write it all up. That is what they call then your lit review then becomes your theoretical framework. When you are doing the lit review for every issue that you are focused on, you do not use only one theorist. So this is the question that Sade was asking before, right? That's why they call it a survey of the literature. So you try to find 3 or 4 sources that talking around the same thing. So when, for example, the others look at movement quality, that shouldn't be only according to one person's perspective. They should be able to pull 3 other sources along with that one to give a discussion of what is movement quality and what is the nature of movement quality and the characteristics. One person might give 3 characteristics, another one might add 2 more. So they would use these various persons to give that explanation. Everybody understands that?
Yes, miss.
So you use this slide here, purpose of lit review, to make sure that you are actually achieving what I just explained there. Okay, so when you do it, you're following the recording here, you check back and you make sure that you are actually doing what I have said there and that you have achieved these 3 purposes here of the lit review. So far, so good?
Indeed.
Yes.
Good. Now, so the question now is, class, how do we actually go about building that lit review? Right? The rest of this lecture is giving you an understanding of some of the things that you could be doing to build the lit review, but I want to carry you through a practical way of doing it. So please pay attention, make notes, and of course, you will revert to the recording to ensure that you are following it step by step. So we have already established what our elements are because we said we are pulling from our research topic, our overarching aim, and our research question. We said that was step 1. We then said step 2 was using those themes and issues that we have identified, we turn them into themes that they become subheading titles in our lit review. Okay? We then write them down and we place them in the order that we believe they should come, that would make sense and would flow. If you notice, class, we have not gone to the literature yet. Huh? All we are doing is using these 3 elements that we have already developed to help us to shape is almost like an essay plan or an outline. We have to do an outline first before we actually go and write up the actual lit review. Okay?
Okay.
Right? So once we have our themes now, we are ready now to begin to build this lit review. Now, a literature review, I want you to note this down, really has two stages. The first is building an annotated bibliography. That is stage one. And stage two is formulating or writing up the actual lit review based on the annotated bibliography. I repeat that. Your literature review actually comprises of two broad stages or phases. The first is building an annotated bibliography, and the second one is creating or formulating a literature, the actual literature review based on that annotated bibliography. Everybody gets that? So let us understand.
Miss, I heard you, but I don't understand the second part.
Miss, I now got to tell you the same thing.
I don't understand the second part.
So the first, so I'm saying to you, when you are doing a literature review has two phases. There are two activities that you have to do. The first is activity one, or the first phase is building something called an annotated bibliography. And the second phase is using the annotated bibliography to create the actual literature review, the one where you write it out in paragraphs and sentences. Do you understand now?
Okay, I understand a bit. I believe so. So we're just using the information that we have on the annotated bibliography and writing in terms of, well, just adding to that, I should say, or writing out in terms of paragraphs. But how are we going about doing that exactly?
Well, but allow me, I will explain. At this stage, you just have to listen and make the note. We will get there. So I'm saying to you, you have those two components. So we are at the stage now where we want to learn today how you actually build an annotated bibliography. I have already given the first two steps for doing that, right? Which is, I repeat once more, using our research question, overarching research aim, and our research topic to identify what may be considered themes and issues that are relevant to our topic that we will be using to search in the literature. From that, we are trying to create subheadings based on those. You just brainstorm that. When you finish that, you then put them in order. I believe I will be throwing up, if I haven't put it up yet, I will be putting up worksheet 5 for that, which is what you will be using as the exercise to do it. All right? You then put those subheading titles you have in order in terms of the flow, how you believe they're supposed to come. That's the next step. Your next step now is that you're taking each one of those themes. So we're going back now to Neil and Delia's, right? We said that one of the themes that they more than likely would look at is indigenous Indian dance, right? More than likely that would be the first thing. A subtitle heading I could create for that theme is conceptualizing indigenous Indian dance. Everybody has the example so far? So that is my subheading title I have created based on the theme indigenous Indian dance. So now I only looking at that one A class. I ain't looking at the other themes or the subheading titles that I have created yet. You don't go there yet. So now I go now and I do my Google search and I search all the databases. I put in indigenous Indian dance. I could even put in what is indigenous Indian dance. Okay? And I'm looking now at what are the top searches I am getting on Google Scholar. I am looking into what comes up on ResearchGate. I am going on Academia EDU site. I'm doing a search on that. I am going on to EBSCOhost. I am going into the UWI library and do a search, see if I can get anything that is in soft copy. You see what I'm doing, class? So I am using all of the various academic based databases and repositories to get me that information. So no, I am not using Oxford Dictionary. No, I am not using some casual blog. Unless the person who wrote the blog is considered an esteemed professional or expert in Indian dance. Everybody following me so far?
Yeah, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so, and what I am doing now is that I am noting, right? So I am going in there. So for that topic now, let us identify, sorry, don't let me confuse it. For that subheading title, let us identify what are some of the things we may want to look at under conceptualizing indigenous Indian dance. What are some of the things we may look at there? Come quickly. We don't want to waste time and we want to keep our train of thought. If, for example, you had to conceptualize, if I had to say to you, conceptualizing or understanding dance practice, what would you put underneath that? What are some of the things you will look at under that topic? Quickly, class. Class, you realize that if you don't answer, we can't go forward, right? Because I can't put the information in your head and I can't do the work for you. You have to at least try. Right? So it's either you're giving me responding to the example I gave or you're using the theirs. The native, okay, so this is with respect to indigenous. What do you mean by the native aspect of the dance? Explain what you mean by that, Carly. Keep it simple, y'all. Keep it simple. Sorry?
Example on their question, conceptualizing indigenous
Yes.
dance, Indian dance, right, miss?
One of the basic things, if you had to explain to somebody, we understand what the word conceptualizing means, right?
Yep.
All right, good. So I'm saying conceptualizing indigenous dance. Is that what I said? Indigenous Indian dance? What's one of the basic things that you would want to cover if you had to be explaining that to someone? What's one of the first things? Oh my gosh.
Miss, the origin, your original dance?
Thank you. Thank you. This is not hard, you know. You're playing the fool, you know, serious thing. I didn't want to say it, but I will have to say it. Because you all have to do the work. I cannot do the work for you all. You're not even willing to try. There are no wrong answers here. If you all don't answer, I won't know if you understand. I don't know. You all want to come back and do this course next year? It looking so?
No, miss.
Well, come on.
No, miss.
This is not good enough. You all have to try. And you see, the reason why Delia and Tinilon got picked because they were willing to put theirs. So theirs getting used as the example. With the exception, of course, to I think it was Ariana and they who tried to put up theirs. But you all need to do some fine tuning on that. So it would have been difficult to use that. You all have to step up, man. Right. So Carlene just suggested quite correctly the origins. What else? So you would bullet that, right? Because we brainstorming it. So we know under that subtitle theme of conceptualizing indigenous Indian dance form, or however you want to put it like that, you have discuss origins of Indian dance. What else we looking at under that subtitle heading?
Miss, you could have the history.
That's the same thing as
Same.
origins.
Okay.
What again? What else going underneath that? Do we know what is Indian dance? Come on, y'all think. So you may have there, define what is indigenous Indian dance. That is two. What else?
Miss, I'm
Anything else?
thinking
Uh,
movement.
sorry? Huh?
Miss, I'm thinking movement quality, but I'm wondering if it's correct.
Well,
The,
you would probably put movement there for now. You could
oh,
probably get various people to help you make the point that Indian dance is very intricate. That much I know. I remember that a little discussion that I had with your lecturer. Very intricate. The moves are very specific, very
yes,
delicate, and
yes,
particular meaning. And
yes,
Miss Sounding good?
yes.
Yes, let's try to learn a little something from the rest of DCFA. You know, I'm very always very fascinated to be working there all these years. I love it. Right? Right. I am very fascinated by Indian dance. I sit and I watch it with awe. Right? So, reminds me of mass actually, because with the traditional forms, they all have meaning, which is, I suppose, why the others are doing the job Malassi. Okay. So if you notice, class, we have three elements there under that. Ain't all three different but related and important?
Yes, miss.
And if you notice, we ain't gone in the literature yet, we ain't gone and do a search, right? So we have those three things. So now we're ready to do some more Google searching. So we're going now and we're looking specifically for those three things, one after the next. So we go in and Google origins of Indian dance. We go in and Google movement in Indian dance. What's the other one we say? We go in and Google what is indigenous Indian dance. Okay? And the top searches you get in terms of the names and the references, those are what you note down. Right? So the way in which your annotated is constructed, listen carefully, is that you will have the subheading title. Right? In this instance, we say it is conceptualizing indigenous Indian dance movement. You have what it is this section is going to deal with. You say this section will examine the nature, origins, and a discussion on movement as it relates to indigenous Indian dance form. Underneath that now, class, you put now a list of the literature that you find that relate to what you say there. So you look for two or three authors that deal with origins. You look for two or three that deal with defining it. And you look for two or three that deal with the discussion on movement. Everybody get that so far?
Yes, miss.
And for
Yes, miss.
every one of those that you put there, so that is why you only get the key ones. You put a little summary. You put a little summary. And I believe I have an example here on this slide, and I will send one as well that you can see how it actually looks, the annotated. You put a little summary of what it is that that person wrote about that relates to whatever you are discussing under that subheading. So let us say Dr. Tull wrote on the origins and you found my paper. Let's say I wrote it last year. So you'll put Tull 1999. What's wrong with me? 2019. Tull 2019 discusses what is indigenous Indian dance and states that it is whatever I say it is. Let us say that Dr. Westby wrote on it. You might have Dr. West, you will put Westby agrees and says that it is this, that, third, fourth. However, who is Deborah Paul? Miss Paul notes that in India it is seen as more of whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay? Does everybody understand? So for the annotated, just to repeat that, if you pull something from something I wrote as the reference to explain, to say, well, this is one of the references you're using under that subheading, you just give a sentence to say this is what you're taking from that particular writing. Let me see if I could find one quickly. Let me see if it would allow me to share and pull up one quickly that you all could see. Let's see if I could find a very easy one that we use. Right. Let's see how I'm doing this now that I could make this easier. Are you all seeing the screen by chance? No? Of what I've put up here? All right, let me try see if I can get it pull up.
Unless we only see in the literature review.
Let me see if it would actually allow me to. It is not allowing me to share that. Let me see what's another way I could send this to you all. Yeah, I find I'm not being allowed to share my screen. And it's still showing the annotated. I mean the lit review.
Yes, it is.
All right, let me try. I'm going to see if I can trick it to do what I want here. Let me see if I can. I'm supposed to be able to open it. I want to see if I can put it onto the screen one time, if it would allow me to do that. me stop presenting for a moment. Hope that I can get back to that. Let's try it on the whiteboard and see. Let me see if it would allow me. It does not allow me. All right, let me see if I could drop it here instead. I'm going to try one more time because I need for you all to see what I'm talking about. Because I realize that you're hearing, but you're not able to visualize it. For me. I'm trying to screenshot it and see if that will work. Okay, you all will tell me if it comes up in the chat. I'm going to try sharing it now. I haven't loaded it up yet. Now trying to get at it. It's not loading up. Okay, I'm going to have to put it in the chat because I'm going to have to put it as a file and see if you all will be able to get at it because it's not allowing me to upload it. I can't even get it onto the screen. So some of my permissions still seem to be off. All how I try, it's not coming up. This thing is frustrating. Do me a favor, please. Could each of you Google and it's not any and everyone I want you to look at either.
I just Google it, yeah.
Let me see if I could even put the link inside the chat at least. Let me try that. All right, see if you can open that link I've just sent there. Has anyone been able to open the link?
Yeah, miss.
Everybody seeing the link?
Yes, miss.
All right. I'm going to try to see if I could even use the whiteboard. It is a little challenge, and I understand that because normally we would have been in the room and we'd be teaching this. But of course, now we have to try and work with the technology. But it would seem as though some of my features are not enabled because I should be able to type on this whiteboard and access everything that I want. Okay, so wow, why is that so big? So you are seeing how that is there, the example, where the reference and that example I've given there, that is the reference you're supposed to be using. All right, so let's take it one step at a time so I am clear that you understand. So you remember the steps I gave. We're at the place where we have done our rough working, which is that we identify what are the things under our subheading title. Everybody back there with me? We're using the example of conceptualizing indigenous Indian dance form. Is it form or forms? Where are my dance experts? You all tell me. Is it form or forms? Which one you'd say? Form or forms? Form. Nobody answered. And we are saying that under conceptualizing indigenous Indian dance form, I would say forms. Thank you, Tania. We said that we would need to look at origins of indigenous Indian dance. Now we're looking at it as a genre or type, so I don't know if it's still form or forms. No, because we wouldn't say reggae music, we would say reggae music. And we recognize that that is a body of work, not so?
Miss is the same dance form.
Form, F-O-R-M, thank you.
Yeah, F-O-R-M.
Right, so origins of Indian dance. What else will you tell me? I get 3 good examples from you all. We say, what is indigenous Indian? I hope so. You see any screen? What I'm typing?
The screen you shared or the link?
The screen that I shared. Great.
No, it's marked up. Something went wrong.
All right. We see how we could fix that. I don't know why you're doing that.
So I just saw something.
Right. We're looking at this small block I have here at the bottom here. Oops.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Let me try and get it kind of centered. Good. You see in this block here, annotated bibliography?
Yes, miss.
Right. So what I have here, I put an example of how to develop, right? So you would have your, this is your subheading title here. If you ain't seeing, make sure and tell me, because I need for you all to understand this. So you have your subheading title, Conceptualizing Indigenous Indian Dance Form. And we say that we need to identify what we will be talking about under the subheading title, not so? So we have origins of indigenous Indian dance. What is indigenous Indian dance? And what's the last one we say? Movement. Right? We say general perspectives.
Miss, only seeing up to what is indigenous Indian dance.
Sorry, you're only seeing that?
Yeah, only up to that.
Strange. I'll try to fix it, but I don't know if I'll get it done. Are you seeing that better now?
Yes.
I was trying to get the screen to scroll up, but it's not allowing me to for some reason. We're getting somewhere. Okay, great. Seeing it now?
Yeah.
Right. So let us use this. Good. I am saying to you, class, if you look at the example that I sent the link for, you would see they have one entry there where they have written in a particular way. That is what we call the MLA style. And then they have a brief discussion of what that person said that relates to whatever it is they're researching. You realize that?
Yes, miss.
This is from the link that I will send. So you see him, Booker, Susan M. So that is the book that they're using to talk about Vietnam War. And look, they say Booker reports on the launch of whatever, whatever. So whatever is the topic that they are looking at, they are using this as a main reference. So the annotation is the little summary that you give. That's why they call it annotated bibliography. This is the bibliography part, the citation itself, and the annotation, which gives a summary, a brief write-up on what is in the book, right, is what is the annotation. Now, you're not putting everything under the sun. You're only writing the part that is relevant to what you are researching. That's why you would have chosen the book. So in other words, you are showing us why that article, that newspaper article, or that online journal article, or that book or chapter was chosen for that particular subheading. Okay? The reason why this is here like this is your guide. So when you write it up, you would have the subheading title. If it is, for example, I wrote on origins of indigenous Indian dance, you would have the title and you would put the name of my article just as how the reference is laid out there. And you would say title talks about the where Indian dance came from, the first forms of indigenous Indian dance, and identifies 7 early dance forms. That's all you need, just one sentence. Okay? So for every piece of literature that you choose that will fall under one of these 3 things here that relate to this, you put the reference just as your CD example has, and then you give one sentence or 2 for the move to say what that piece of literature has in it that makes it relevant to that particular subheading title that you would be examining. Tell me which part you don't understand, or do let me know if you understand. Questions, plenty questions, I don't mind at this time. Everybody understands that? Is everyone still here with us?
Yeah,
Because I'm not
Miss.
sure.
Yeah, we still here.
Okay, y'all get that? I'm going to send an example of an annotated so you will see. So don't worry. I will pull one from a previous class that was done good and I will send it for you in the file so you will see how it looks. All right? But this is
Much appreciated.
so the point is class, but you still have to make sure that you understand what it is you're doing because you have to do it for your own. The point is though, if you notice, we take it step by step so that you don't try to pull down everything for all aspects because you will get confused. I'm sure some of you have tried doing a lit review before and it has been very tedious, probably difficult, probably frustrating. What I'm showing you is a step-by-step way of doing it so that when you have your subtitles, you take each one then and you break out, you brainstorm what are the things you believe you want to be looking at under that. And that is what you go and you look into the literature for, only that. Those same articles that you get, that you put in your annotated, you keep. Because when you have to write the lit review in full now, you will do that. When we get to doing the report part, we will come back at this and I will explain that again to you. But I somehow feel that Mr. Ashby and I had decided that we would only have you all do an annotated this time because of course the way how the semester started late and what have you. So I just need for you all to be able to do that annotated properly. All right. So I am going to put up 2 things. I'm going to put up 3 things rather. You will have the PowerPoint You will have the recording, which is very important. You will have an example of an annotated bibliography, and I am also directing you to go back onto your worksheet as well. That will help you to break out these themes that you will see how it's done. I am waiting. Aliyah, please liaise with me as soon as you can once you've conferred with your colleagues as to what will be a good day this week we can have class. When we have that class, my expectation, will do your one page, yes, but the most I will expect of you is to at least come up with your themes. We will do the rest in class, right? That you can, I will have a clear sense of where your head is at, but at least try to identify what would be your themes, that would be the subheadings. All right, you could at least, you should be able to do that. And it should be easy because you would have done your one page and you will be even more comfortable based on the work that we've done today. All right, so again, I repeat, I will upload the worksheet that deals with this annotated. I will give an example of an annotated bibliography that you can see how it looks in the end based on my explanation here. I will also put up this recording as soon as we finish here. I will put it up and I will break out this lecture. I will put the part that deals, I'll put up the first couple of slides. I don't want to put up all at this time because I know that going to confuse. Or I could put it up and you know where we stopped at. We would have gone up to about slide 4 or so. Because the remainder of the lecture you may need later on when we do the part with writing up your field report. At this point in time, I just want for you to become comfortable with how you would go about constructing the annotated bibliography. That is what we need now at this time. Just for us to be sure, annotated goes into your template, right? Just saying that because I know sometimes we get a little confused. So just a gentle reminder, that is the second section of our template. All right, so we just getting back up to speed in terms of what is being asked of us. Any questions, class? Anything that is jumping out? Anything with respect to this? Please note your questions so that when we come back to class later on in the week, we can address those. Fair enough, class?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording at this time.